Ah, that's what he meant by the moment you see yourself, it's starting. Okay, it's not an out-of-body experience. That's cool. Yeah, it's Sunday, 3 p.m., and more people than I figured are interested in looking at some statistics and some good old revision corporate. No. So yeah, thank you for coming here and for having a look. To those I haven't had the pleasure, who I haven't had the pleasure to talk to so far, my name is Shana. I have been with the revision organizing team ever since the beginning. Actually got grandfathered in from Breakpoint. I was already a Breakpoint organizer. In the past 5-ish years, we built up the social media team. I get to work with a fantastic team of 4 people doing all the social media channels. Something that's close to my heart is, of course, the satellite events that we do for revision in other countries and on other continents. I also have the pleasure to be one of the main orgas, along with Zucked and Procyon, for Mountain Bike's demo party in Switzerland. Member of the board at Echtet. I do a lot of stuff, meteorics, awards. And at my day job, I used to work for big, bad pharma corporations, and I'm now with Wikimedia Switzerland. Now, very important at the beginning of this talk, all of the organizations I'm listing here, this is my personal opinion. This is not going to be like, this is the revision stance. This is certainly not going to be, this is the Wikimedia stance or whatever. But obviously, I make my observations, and I've made them now for 1.5 decades. And there's some stuff we can learn about stuff. So again, this is my hobby. So I have opinions, obviously. And it'll be interesting to also hear from folks what you think about stuff. Right, so first off, before I even get to forget it, thanks a lot to a lot of people that provided me also with data outside of revision, that sense-checked me, that gave me some feedback and input. And of course, again, the revision organizer, everyone whose work I'm presenting here, my lovely social media team. Yeah, you folks rock. Thank you so much for helping me getting all of this stuff together. So, we have a look back. 15 years of revision, what happened in the realms, especially of social media, of online presence. We take a deeper look into some audience statistics. Where do they come from? Where do they also limit us? And then some ideas for the future. And this is then completely offline. You've all been psyched into that situation now. Okay, who is up for the most sober graphic that I was able to create about 15 years of revision being online? Again, I've worked in big bad corporate and I've done a lot of slides in my life. So, it's more like a loony board, but so we started in 2010, and that was funny because Breakpoint was over, everyone was aware it was the last Breakpoint, people weren't aware what would happen next. And we obviously, we are Germans, so we didn't dare yet announcing something while the contracts aren't fully signed and nothing is official yet. So there is a lovely, lovely video blog that I would recommend for all of you to watch. I might post out the link later, where they created a lot of, I think, 15 little videos with Oki talking about why it's cool to be at a demo party without saying the word coding once. Defox and Stücks obviously looking much, much younger than these days. Still full of life and excitement about what's going to come. Track, Genio singing a wonderful little song. So this is where we started. And you see, very early on we had Facebook. That was still the place to be. And this is the current numbers. We somehow lost in the last year. We lost some 1,000 followers because, well, especially those 2 platforms lost a lot of users, right? So that's the current numbers you can see there for Twitter and Facebook. 1 year later, roundabout-ish, the Meteorics Awards came along and were hosted here. Before it was, of course, the Scene.org Awards. They have their own channels. I also get to maintain them. They're at around 1,000 followers. YouTube came then very quickly along as well, was first experimental. Something important I should say, in general, how we treat those platforms, it's a service. We never really did, as you can see in this slide, we never really saw this as a strategic tool with how to do outreach, whatever. We used whatever was out there to let you participate and let you watch our content, and even if you can't be with us, content, right? Our party and engage with us. Now something really interesting happened that had nothing to do actually with revision itself, or not much. And that was then, so around 2016, 2017, we saw a lot of people starting streaming. Not sure about you, I love Ferris's streams, especially the early ones that he did, where he also deconstructed a lot of the interests that they did. Flopine, obviously, PS, Mystery Demoscene Theater 9000, and now still fairly new, but much appreciated Fairlight TV, and I'm sure I'm forgetting thousands of them, so I'm not shouting out everyone, but these are the first ones in my personal watch list, yeah. And Shader Showdowns became popular. Some of you might remember those times that suddenly Twitch was all over the place with revision, right? We even became a partner officially. That was awesome. They featured us on the landing page of Twitch because they were really excited about what we do and that we do something creative. And then something happens. So first, there was a reason we all had to stay home. Exactly. Streaming is a solved problem. Defox is on the record of saying, well, streaming is a solved problem. We have large platforms for that these days. Look how different his look already is between those almost 10 years. For those who may not have come across that lovely story in, I believe it was 2021, during the 64K PC intro compo, the Twitch stream went black. We got banned because before, God knows, we don't know to this day why. If it was there were 3 or 4 entries in the graphics compos where you saw female breasts, and Americans take weird to that. We had some arse wiggling and another compo. There's a lot of origin stories how this happened. We can't tell, so we just blame it on the laser Hirsch from Nuance to this day. So yes, our 6,000 followers that we accrued by that point suddenly only saw black. And then you know what happened. Within 45 minutes, we were back online thanks to the Chaos Computer Club and their C-Theory walk. So always. That was one exciting night. And it, again, brought a lot of new people, because for some reason the Demoscene and especially hackers, it kind of went in parallel for many years, and now we see more intermingling again, which is also beautiful. In came also during that time, because again, we had to stay connected to you. A lot of new platforms. Yes, we do have a TikTok account. We had some young folks joining the social media team to try it out, because why not? That's also the beauty of being a revision organizer. You get some freedom to just try out weird stuff that I honestly, as an aging woman, also don't always get. But yeah, you can see the numbers are smaller. However, again, with Twitter, obviously, being likely on the way out, this is a very healthy number, especially I think now this I would have had to move up, because during revision we obviously get hundreds of new followers, and it's actually very nice that after just like 1 year we grew up to more than 1,000 followers on Blue Sky. So yeah, lively community, and I rather have the numbers down here, but then it's a lively community. It's people that release, that care, instead of what you start to accumulate over the years. Obviously, those 5.5 aren't necessarily checking them out. A lot of them are also lost accounts, right? So, Yeah, and now we are kind of at this weird intersection. I don't think I need to tell anyone in the room all the geopolitical stuff, the stuff in online spaces that happened. It's kind of a very interesting time that opens up new avenues. People are a little bit concerned, some of them, like, oh my God, the demo scene will splinter now. And I hope by the end of this talk, I can show you, hey, the demo scene has always been all over the place. It has never been in this one place. Because 10,000 subscribers on YouTube looks impressive, but that's still not the demo scene. Okay, here comes the slide. Oof. Okay, so I mainly take it for good, take it for bad. The big corps have collected data. Also, disclaimer, obviously, when we talk gender, because it's optimized towards people that want to advertise, they don't care about the fact that gender is obviously a spectrum, right? So it's all male, female. It's the best I can do with the data I have. We see 13% across the meta platforms, so meaning Instagram and Facebook, are female, or right, set that tick at the time when they were asked. And now, very interesting, and I was like, okay, this can't be correct. 2.9% for the YouTube channel. The first thing I obviously did was asking the colleagues who also have YouTube channels with Demoscene content, okay, how does this look for you? And they're telling me, yeah, no, it looks oftentimes even worse. I think actually PS is doing better, probably because he does not just do Demoscene content, but also book reviews and is a bit more diversified in his content. What I also found very interesting in the age distribution, look at this. So, well, might also be the platforms, I get it. We old people are on Facebook. But it seems that Gen X likes to talk about demos, and it seems like the millennials, we like to watch demos or watch them on YouTube, right? And I know this is its own discussion. I find this very interesting that it flips around between those two age groups. And also, I mean, it's just 0.1%, 13 to 17, but it's something that we then obviously also as revision organizers have to think about, that, hey, underage people can watch our content, right? So I've left it in there just for you to see. It's just interesting. And then obviously, region, meta is very interesting. They only show you your top 10, and we get back to that in a bit. You see this huge pie piece for Germany, which is just incredible. And where does that come from? Obviously, because revision is a German event, listed as a German institution, so obviously it's getting pushed to Germans more than to others. Hello, algorithm. For YouTube, I gave up because I had around 100-something countries in there, and what I tried to do instead is to say, okay, by language group. Right, that we can say that West Slavic, obviously, would be, right, West would be your Polish, your Czech, your Slovak, those languages. West Germanic would now be classically like German, Dutch, let's say, where you can say there is some intermingling also close culturally, right? And again, there also we have some heavyweights. So does that mean revision is a German demo party? Obviously, we don't want to be, right? We are the biggest, so we have some responsibility to also be there for other countries. I know we Germans have that tendency to think of ourselves. English is obviously a big chunk. And interestingly, for 30% of people, we don't even know, because not everyone logs into YouTube, which sometimes also, you know, I'm with you. Okay, now, what I just mentioned, these statistics, because we had those, and especially those people watching this later as a recording, this is not a snapshot of what the demo scene is. This is just who are the revision followers. You can see here, basically where our heavyweights are in our followership. It's very interesting, a huge bubble in the US. I don't have more regionalized data, that's why, well, yeah, East Coast will be about right. But you also see more going on in other regions. So now, thanks a lot to Poti. He gave me a list of all the events in the past 15 years, all the stuff that is logged on demoparty.net. And there you can already see, oh, whom are we missing? Oh, a lot of Nordic people, right? Finns almost don't happen in our followership, where we would say Finland is pretty much still a Demoscene country. And obviously in Russia. So does language have an impact, right? That people just don't consume YouTube videos or social media content, right? Also because they're on other platforms. And now a big thank you to Gasman, who provided me with a list of everyone who's released in the past 15 years, has a credit on Demoscene from the past 15 years, and has logged their country of origin. You can set that in Demoscene. And here's getting really interesting. Hey, dear Italian colleagues, more than 100 releases in the past 15 years and now on Demo Party. It'd be interesting to talk to you. We obviously see a lot happening in Eastern Europe, right? That, again, doesn't necessarily happen then in what we can actually see and notice. And in comes Southern America. They release, they do. But we don't have many events, right? So, and again, if someone wants to look at the raw data, I'm happy to provide it. Yeah. And then lastly, thank you, Gagai. The trolls. Sorry, oh God, that's getting me one. So Puert, where does Puert happen? This is very rough data because it's from a visualization where also the American bubble now splits up to different regions. I found that interesting. But yeah, where does Puert actually happen, right? And yes, there's VPNs and so on, we're aware, but so yeah, I found this just very interesting to check out. So wherever you now can see a flat color and not that heavy blob in Central Europe, these might be interesting regions to engage, because obviously either the people, like we see in Eastern Europe, they release a lot, but we are obviously not in contact with them necessarily as much. Perhaps have a look at our organizer teams. Could we use more folks from Xenium, from other demo parties, to really make this a more international, or can we just collaborate with them? Not everyone has to become an organizer. Okay, done with the infographics for now. Algorithmic bias, I'm sure quite a few of you heard about it. It's that question of when comes the point that you're just yelling into your own bubble. For the YouTube algorithm, what actually drives it most of the time for whether you get something recommended or not, it's looking at the commenters. And if primarily middle-aged white men, or presenting as men from Middle Europe, comment on our YouTube videos, then obviously it's getting pushed there. I hardly get any recommendations for Demoscene content. Right? Because the algorithm can't sell me lipstick. I couldn't stop putting this in there as well. Meta only gives the heavy hitters, and I will talk about this a little bit more in a minute. 40% of our audience is completely invisible to us. We don't know, because they are not this huge pie piece that you've seen that are Germans, right? So we miss out on 40% of our audience. And I will show you in a second that this makes a huge difference, especially when you talk about making demos, making cool releases. Yeah, Germans getting served over proportionally. And there is a suspected gender bias. I was looking up some, this is open access, really good open access study. There are many, many more out there, where again, it goes back to this commenter-driven recommendations. But yeah, suspected, I have done this once or twice in my life, also for Demoscene stuff, where I'm saying you have those dashboards where you can select your core audience, whom you want to advertise to. And a lot of advertisers obviously have already made their own research, and they go, male between the ages of 30 and 55, right? And by that, automatically, of course, this links back in some way. Interestingly, I have talked to a few Google people about this, or YouTube people. They are with us in Switzerland, a lot of them, and they're like, hell, we know what our algorithm is sometimes doing. I don't think you will get an authoritative answer from anyone because, yeah, it's a wonderful little ball of mud at this point of configuration and coding, infamously. So yeah, if we only look at majorities, what we just said about meta, we are missing out on really, really cool small stuff, especially those that we do all this online stuff for, right? Because we want them to see it if they can't come over. Now I would have to remember all the country flags. So we have Réunion, we have Iraq, we have Algeria. There's such beautiful stuff going on out there that you kind of miss. And I now had the opportunity to see some of this because I had this list from Guzman with all those countries, and then looking up, okay, where's only like 3 Demosceners at, and what do they do? And look at this. This is cool. This is amazing. We don't want to miss out on it, right? And we want to make sure that these people have access, and we don't just serve the Germans and Brits and Americans and Finnish people, obviously. Ridiculously beautiful. I love Venam's work. I love all of their work, otherwise I wouldn't show it. Okay, so that whole thing of media penetration, and I think some of you have heard this, oh my God, if we're leaving Twitter, or X as it's now called, we will lose all this outreach. Which outreach? We've reached the people that we were supposed to reach, that we can serve. Yes, we've reached more people, but it's not us advertising for ourselves, but it's someone of you posting on your favorite platform to your friends saying, hey, I made this demo and the demo scene is cool. How many people in the room here went to their first demo party without knowing anyone, completely by themselves? I see 2, 3, 4. Really? Oh, strong ones. For whom did this happen in the last 10 years? Of you 4. One person. I would be really curious how you then learned about the demo scene. Would you care to share, or? EMF camp, yeah. Yeah, sorry, that was for the, I am now horrifying the colleagues for just asking audience questions.
Hello.
Hello.
Ooh. Okay, I'm very loud now. So, yeah, there's the field effects demo party at EMF camp. That was where I first came across the demo scene, and it was simply because I went to a talk by Crypt, I think. Was it Crypt? Can't remember.
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah, Crypt.
Yeah.
Wonderful talk, yeah.
And I saw a really amazing demo and got an excellent talk about the demo scene and thought, oh, that looks cool. I should interact with field effects.
Awesome, yeah. These folks did such an amazing job at pulling new people in. Kind of this, also then obviously what field effects did with their bite jams and their Monday morning streams. Again, it's about a worthy open community that cares to share, that cares to leave people in. We can't always do this as organizers because we have to organize the events. It's about creating an environment for everyone where we are kind of proud to say, hey, come along, I think this will be a good, cool place for you to explore. Obviously a picture from the Black Valley folks, because us organizers have had conversations in the past how envious we are of Black Valley having always sold out house, because some sceners whom I didn't discuss shouting them out before, always they even invite their eye doctors and stuff. Absolutely beautiful. So, and then so shout out also to them that, again, it's then the groups and the people who come to your party. Okay, everyone take a really deep breath, please. It's that time. I already kind of now, if anyone's in the room who feels uncomfortable now, you might want to leave. But we have to talk about diversity, equity, and inclusion. Okay, we get through it together. Again, this topic has been so politicized, and that it annoys me too. You know, me too. You know, which is a shame, because not being an asshole is not a political decision. Wanting to be welcoming to people is not political. Also, wanting to set own boundaries wherever they go is not political. If these guys continue to look as afraid, great, great. If you can name all of them, you should go out and touch some grass. And perhaps I have a couple of ideas how we can do this together. Okay, now the moment you thought I'm talking about gender and about neurodiversity right now, did you? Inclusion is more. And it's more than semantics, right? We can print the coolest posters about everyone's welcome, all creatures welcome. We tend to forget about some measures that especially also we orgas need to think about. I always love the sentence, we are all one shitty car crash away from being marginalized. Now as for the slide, let's visualize it. Imagine, so you're the most privileged Demoscener in the world. You are from Finland, you are 55 years of age, you have a lovely wife, a well-paying job. The kids are out of the house finally, or they're old enough that you can finally go to demo parties again. You went to your favorite party, you're on your way home, hey, you got a trophy, cool. And you get into a car crash. Your wife is with you, because now that the kids are tall enough, she can join in. And suddenly you have a car crash, and you have a back injury that will leave you immobilized for the next couple of months. But hey, your wife just got a brain injury, right, during the car crash, and she needs support in the future. She will live, she will be okay-ish, but she will need your support on a daily basis. Again, perhaps if you live in Finland, then there might be quite some space between you and the next demo party. Very unfortunately, we live in a world where accidents like this have massive impact on your income, very unfortunately. And perhaps you were never much into speaking English. You actually love your own folks, your own group, who go on in Finnish, obviously, right? So again, and revision is, yeah. So just watch the stream. I'm always personally a bit dissatisfied when people say, well, then just watch the stream if you can't come. But very important now, what I'm going to say, this is not, oh, we need to change all the demo parties. This is not that, right? This is not a call to action. It's, hey, perhaps we have additional ideas. And again, no one wants to take away your usual cool demo party, just as we know and love it, but just perhaps a bunch of ideas. Because hey, a lot of us are pushing 60 now. And I don't think you have to stop being a Demoscener just because you cross 60 or 70. Yeah, you know, you should still be able to enjoy your time. So this is something we've heard also written on Poet lately a lot. I'm getting too old for this shit. Whom said it this weekend already? Yeah, okay. Of course, PS. Who is very confident that they will say it tonight after the PC demo compo? Oh, wow, you're tough, folks.
Please let me just interrupt. I think it's better to be too old for this shit than to be too shitty for the age.
Thank you, Swally. Well noted. So visitor comfort sounds a bit weird now. Do we need massage chairs for everyone, like our Spanish satellite has this year, apparently? No. Infrastructure, have hotels close by, again, where possible. I was making the joke last year at Gulasch Programmiernacht about, well, demo parties are like hacker congresses just for old people because our chairs have rests. and are upholstered. These small things, try to sticking to a timetable, so it's not getting 3 a.m. like for us last year as well, right, with the demo compo. Your party gives me headaches. I'm one of those people who get heavy migraines from blinking lights. That's wonderful. Quiet areas, I think the hackers were great at that, creating those sensory refuges. Again, depends on your location. Please do not shit at demo party organizers trying their best, right, with what they have and what they can rent. But I personally would always vote for having some quiet rooms where you can really withdraw. I have kids now. I was one of those people a few years ago. Oh God, I can't go to demo parties anymore. How am I supposed to do this? I'm actually working also for my job on something. How can we perhaps have people taking their kids, or again, some of us are faced by the fact that our parents start to need help. Is there a way to have like Tinker weekends, where it's not about releasing, not about deadlines, but about building stuff together, trying stuff out together, and being somewhere in the nature or something you reach easily, perhaps with a big playground, and kind of have these like Zippen, we would say in German, where families start to watch out for each other, and just at 10, it's fine if you go to bed, you don't have to have FOMO. It's an interesting option. I'm looking currently at if we can have little events like this and can actually support this. Then it's not even the entrance fee, right? It's getting to the party and staying at the party for several days. That's really expensive. Coming to revision, depending where you're coming from, again, your home country, can be an excluding factor. A lot of hackerspaces now came up with, hey, we are streaming revision this weekend. We perhaps have little code-alongs or little meetups once a month. Usually when you show up at the hackerspace saying, hi, I'm a Demoscener, I would like to invite some folks to watch demos. They're really interested in doing this. Universities, same there. Oftentimes they obviously on their campus, they have some facilities for students where they can do little stuff, and it doesn't cost you something, right? Not everyone needs to organize a demo party. Demo making workshops, we have great experiences at Mountain Bites with that, even having it at the party. I will shout them out later again, the Graphaton people from Finland. I think Graphatons are a fantastic thing where you learn how to make a demo from scratch in one weekend. Just one little scene, right? It doesn't have to be spectacular. And perhaps because I've seen that conversation going on as of late quite a bit, for the Americans, I know infrastructurally you are different and you don't have these mid-sized locations. Libraries. We all tend to forget this after we are done with school, but the librarian is the natural ally of the computer nerd. Remember the one from school? I mean, usually when you go to them and say, hey, I'm doing cool Tinker stuff, you would be amazed. They have some form of presentation room that they like to give out to local people, just doing fun stuff. Again, watching some demos together. There might be some limitations if you can drink there or not, but you know. But where you can also have Tinker workshops. You would be surprised how many libraries these days have 3D printers. They have machinery you can rent. Libraries are your friends. Just get in touch with them and ask them, hey, could I perhaps do something here? Just print 20 flyers and say, hey, everyone's invited to watch some demos with me. And that's the start. You don't have to organize a demo party necessarily as first. Then something, obviously, what I mentioned earlier, are we accessible enough for people to sign up as organizers? Because again, a wide variety of organizers also makes an event where more people feel at home. We started this with the Meteorics. We've already done that for a while. Revision started it a couple of years ago, that we always kind of, although it's a bit lame, but post like open jobs, right? And open vacancies with already describing what would be the work, what's expected of you. Because a lot of people, especially with revision, go, oh, that's the big, cool event where really capable people work. We are making shit up as we go as well, but so making it open calls. Especially when you organize demo parties, you're always like, oh God, I need to trust that people will be there, so obviously I ask my friends first. Yeah, but if you continue to do this, you again shout into your own little bubble, right? And then something I started looking at, my Ingles ist schlimm. Not everyone speaks fantastic English, and we kind of always expect this. Oh yeah, English is lingua franca, as they say in the UNESCO stuff. But that's not necessarily true, and sometimes it also feels uncomfortable to then get into conversations, because actually getting to that level that you are not just good at somewhat conversing in English, but really can have in-depth discussions. Hey, that's quite the privilege and quite the asset to have. Not everyone has that. Wouldn't it perhaps be cool to have multiple audio streams for revision that could cover what we've seen earlier, this big bubble also in Southern America, in Spanish, in Portuguese, or other Eastern languages, for example, right? Is there perhaps some opportunities where we can help people? Again, we don't have to reinvent the wheel. Take the content that's there and the offers that are there, and perhaps make this more accessible for people who are interested in this kind of stuff. Because yes, when you hear your local language, it clicks better. Eh? And again, in the end, platforms don't make a community. We don't need to be afraid of Facebook not being the major thing, not Twitter being the major thing, whatever. We all make this community. Again, what brought people in was you posting to your friends, hey, Demoscene is cool. You bringing folks along. You advertising by just loving it and just being happy to share, right? And obviously us organizers, our responsibility is to provide you parties or offerings, again, perhaps small watch parties, where people are just comfortable to recommend it, right? When I joined the Demoscene, it was still this, yeah, we'll see how much you like it. And thank God, I think this changed a lot. They talked about it earlier this morning. So we do, all of us, each and every one of us. Yes, especially for the people who are not German, perhaps not male, perhaps not middle-aged, your comment does more than you think in order for then other people like you seeing that content. But please do not feel stopped if you fall into the major category to still post and give us feedback. We are always very, very grateful for everyone who tells us that they love what they see and what they experience here. So I mentioned it doesn't always have to be a demo party, and there is actually really cool stuff out there that sometimes we have to look up a little bit because they do it for local audiences. They don't advertise it necessarily on Puert or wherever. Demo nights, hey, unlock. That's, of course, with us at home in Switzerland. Just one evening, watching some demos, giving the platform for potentially for seminars, for little one-scene compos that just develop just for people to be together, right? And that kept the Swiss demo scene alive before that we then could come back with mountain bikes. Thank God. So we didn't have an empty hall, right? The Graphathon orgas, I've mentioned them earlier. That's one weekend where you learn how to make a demo. Really, really cool thing. We stole the concept also for mountain bikes to run a workshop where they also do their very first, like, we said one scene, but suddenly people obviously submit really cool stuff. Where you really can then also meet, obviously, sceners. Perhaps you are interested in becoming a mentor. Interestingly, you don't need to be the hottest demo coder in the world to just be there for someone, hold their hand and say, yes, let's Google it together. Momentum in Portugal is building us something very similar, also doing outreach with local, I call it GLAM institutions. So with museums and others. Logica, I'm sure you've come across his work, doing all those ASCII, ANSI compos online where everyone can participate. Something I fell in love with recently is Phase 101 from Bosnia-Herzegovina or Serbia. I'm so sorry if I'm nervous. Bosnia, thank you. Really fell in love with his streams because it's teaching people about Amiga demo coding, but with beginners in mind. I have to say I'm about 1 year younger than the Amiga, I believe 1200, so I'm young. I need to be, yes, I know, don't look like this. So I didn't grow into it naturally, and especially the old school scene is sometimes this very sworn-in place where it's complicated to understand more of what's going on. And I really love their streams and video offers with beginners in mind. Nesnausk was doing a lot of game jams, and they also do demos and intros. So, and of course in Berlin, they now also have those meetups regularly. You see the next dates already there. I think the next one is end of next month. So if you're in the Berlin area, have a look. Lovely folks. Yeah, again, you don't need to host a full demo party to just get some sceners together and give them a place to be. Again, I love doing this kind of stuff. I also now very gratefully get to do this for a living, not necessarily for the Demoscene, but obviously for Wikipedians. But I'm always very happy to converse about ideas, to discuss ideas, see how we can support them. Again, I may say I'm fairly well connected with people that you might be interested in also meeting locally. And we at Echtzeit are also always happy to see how we can help you out. We've done a couple of events, etc. We've organized some stuff. So, yeah, if you feel like you have this cool idea, but dipping your toes into organizing something feels weird, or again, you have an idea of how the online world is continuing to be, get in touch with me. Feel free. Would love to talk to you. Yeah, and now we have like 45 minutes. That's cool. That means you can ask questions for 10 minutes, but you want to first see a bonus. Who has seen that cool Demoscene tax thing from Finland? So the Finnish guys recently put out the Demoscene tax fund because their tax payments are public record. And I couldn't stop myself having all this data from Demozoo to calculate what's the scener density per country. Finland has more than 200 per mil, Demoscener per mil, and also the GDP per scener. So by the way, if someone is wondering how to do your pricing for your entrance fees, just saying, hey, sorry, Swiss people who are here. Our tickets are getting more expensive, yeah. Yeah, so that was me being stupid with data. Yay. I put this away now. You can pause it later on YouTube. Right. Then we can get over to questions, I think, when if also the colleagues are fine with doing that. Yeah.
Oh, thank you very much. It was quite inspiring to see what actually are the driving factors. They're actually not platforms, but there was one thing that was frustrating me a little bit lately on Poet, for example, because I made a thread just like there's this open source Instagram kind of thing. It's called PixelFed, you know? Mm-hmm. And I just like made a post, Demosceners on PixelFed, just like traction 0, while at the same time, Blue Sky, 200 people, and we all know how this will end up in 10 years. Yeah. I totally cannot understand this kind of behavior, so maybe someone would be inspired to also join this PixelFed stuff. Okay,
join PixelFed. I hope I can say that right now. I haven't checked it out myself. What I can say also from running a lot of little projects, Poet comment section is not necessarily a good indicator how engaged people are. Honestly, you will find quite a number of BBS threads that I opened that have no comments, but in the background actually a lot of stuff happens. That's usually my favorite projects, where I'm getting concerned when it starts getting second, third, fourth page. Then I'm like, oh, shit. Yeah. Anyone else? Any questions?
Yeah, thank you, Shana, for the presentation. It was pretty good. I'm going to talk a little bit about the statistics on the YouTube stuff that you were mentioning. I have curiously many American people watching my channel, which is really weird. Yeah. It's like half of my viewers come from the America.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the other of them are and there are not that many American sceners. I know most of them. Trickster did a lot of promotion there because he's also organizes this big festival there, and he sometimes plugs my channel, so I know some comes from that. But even before we started doing that, I would get a lot of American sceners that I'm like, where the hell are they coming from?
Yeah.
And I really agree with you that like the algorithm in YouTube really drives the content. They see computer-related stuff. Okay, this is for this kind of age, this kind of male population. We are gonna only announce to those people, and it really hits the diversity. I would like to, reach everyone that would marginally be interested.
I think what's also driving this is obviously market saturation, as they say. Again, I'm not a marketing person, right? But obviously, Americans are overrepresented on YouTube, naturally. So you will have a bigger bunch. I personally see it also as an opportunity, right? Yeah,
definitely. I had a few people that were like, I don't know what the hell this is. This is very interesting. And I tell them, okay, there are these two parties happening in the US. Try to go there. Like, it's far away, but maybe I can enter remotely. So it definitely helps a little bit to get more Demoscene activity happening in other places. And not just United States, people from all over the place.
And
some
again,
people from
dear
the
Americans,
Balkans.
libraries.
Yeah.
They are your friends.
And they have a big library culture in America as well, so it's definitely a good place. And they also have some hacker spaces and more hacker-related activities, so which is one of the fronts that also has some connectivity. I know Jason Scott does a lot of promotion with the hacker community there as well, and Inverse Phase, who came here last year, they're also very involved with that. So it's definitely a point. But not just them, but like a Balkan country where we don't have active demo parties, they also randomly showed up at my channel, and I tell them, there's function happening in Hungary, there's this party, and now they are in part of a group. So it really helps to have that diversity and reach not your usual audience, because your usual audience will already somehow look for Demoscene news and find my stuff. I really want to reach the people who don't usually know about Demoscene, and that's the difficulty, that's the challenge.
Yeah, I think what is also important, something you said in between that we need to think more about also as a revision, is the world is what it is at the moment, and we're not just talking geopolitical, but also obviously the environment. I think it's very clear to most people that flying far distances or flying at all may sooner rather than later just become unfeasible for most people. And we might have to think here and there about how we can change in a healthy way to accommodate that more, right? And again, foster those local communities. And because I'm sure in 10, 15 years we might be talking about, do you remember how cool it was to be here all together from all over the planet? Yes, it was cool, but I think we are going towards a time where this might not be feasible anymore, and we might want to have a few answers before we hit that moment. And again, reaching out, I think what you do is great with the museums and other communities. I find that the way to go. Reach out to like-minded communities. Again, try not to cannibalize each other, but reaching out to them. Now there is a lot of talking about, hey, we need more institutionalized stuff. We need to see how museums, shouldn't they also keep record of certain demos, etc., which is interesting. It's an interesting thought. There's a lot happening right now that's exciting.
Yeah, I think the Finnish are also doing a lot of initiatives in that. It would be cool to see other Demoscene-heavy countries also try to do more of that stuff. I think particularly the Finnish are very good representation with Graphathon and Assembly. They do a lot of outreach work that some of the other countries, they just take for granted that people interested in the Demoscene will show up, and that's not always the case. And I think that's why you kind of see a little of decrease in the number of parties and the number of interested people participating. I'm like thinking of Hungary, of Norway, and Denmark. Denmark used to be like such a big country for Demoscene, and now there's like one demo party a year, and it's a very small party, which is really, really weird.
Yeah, but again, keep in mind, right, you know yourself, we both have talked about it multiple times, how much of a pain in the butt it is to organize a demo party, even for 50 people.
Yeah, it's work.
It's a shit ton of work. We are all doing this as a hobby. No one here is getting paid, right? This is our hobby. Again, a demo party is a demo party, right? We can't change much about that and make it more accessible, but perhaps we can also have other offers that people might find interesting. Because that then also helps us party organizers. If there's other stuff happening in the country, then obviously they will also start then trickling into you. And for that, we need people who are willing to help and participate and do this kind of little meetups, because we, main organizers of the demo parties, we can't do this on top. Yeah. Oh, unlock. Now comes my boss.
Oh, come on. Yeah, thank you for the talk. Very interesting. Also the slides, brilliant. I just would like to add, if you plan to do something locally, if you would like to have something like demo nights or the other events, and you are missing out on funding, you don't have enough money, you need to rent space or whatever, try to talk to your local Demoscene organization, if there is one. At least in Switzerland with Echtzeit, we do have budget a little bit.
Are you taking my money away from running parties?
Mountain Bites is,
and then he's telling me again that I'm ordering too much chocolate. Yeah.
But that possibly works for other organizations as well, that they have money to support actions like that. Especially, and for me, and that's a personal thing, I'm always happy if somebody else does it in my country. And that's the best thing that can happen. And that said, we have with demo nights, for example, that's to be meant as kind of a label that you can use to create or to have an event in Switzerland. We were talking about Paris demo nights last year. It didn't happen, but still maybe could happen. That label can be used for and we try to provide a hosting, maybe social media posts about it, and then make a demo night. Why not? That's not only a thing that we or that I do. So, yeah.
And perhaps on that note, when you hear now, interesting, Unlock talking about that we have money. Also, a lot of the Demoscene associations that you have in your countries, Inertia for one, Echtzeit, Computerkunst e.V., DKEF in Germany, they are recognized charities. So you can actually donate money to them if you have some left over, or join them as a member and pay an annual membership fee. It actually goes a long way to then that we can give this money to someone who needs just $100 for a small one evening location.
That's the point, right? And that's also where the money comes from. It's not that we get money from authorities or something. It's our members.
Yeah,
paying,
and it's often us donating to the association.
And our members paying a membership fee, basically, without really getting something out of it, except maybe for a lousy T-shirt every year.
Yeah, and again, I'm yet to meet organizers who are not happy to at least hold your hand and help you out. I was really grateful back in the day that almost all demo parties, that's a talk for itself, opened their accountings for me and showed me, what it means to run a demo party. That really helped to have all that support to build up a demo party. Yeah. If that's all, I'll be around. I mean, I'll be watching Compos. But would love to have a chat with you. Again, get in touch with me if you would like to do something weird. I'm always interested in something weird. Revision is too. Yeah. And then I wish you all a great time during the compos and the rest of the party, and hope you enjoy it, and I guess the name of everyone from the team. Thank you. Am I? Yes, I'm switched off. Good.